We welcome you back to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network as we get ready for Game 2 of today's doubleheader. This game number 2 of this 4-game set between the visiting Dickinson State University Blue Hawks out of Dickinson, North Dakota, and the home team Bellevue University Bruins out of Bellevue, Nebraska. The two schools furthest away from each other in the North Star Athletic Association, about a 10-hour drive or so between those two locations. Bruins winning game number 1 today by a score of 3-2. The Bruins eking a run across in the bottom of the 6th inning. Started off with a Logan Grant bunt, and then an error advancing him all the way to third. Jake Lacey with the sacrifice fly. His second run batted into the game made it a 3-2 contest. Let's get ready for game number 2. Here is the starting lineup for the Dickinson State Blue Hawks. Leading it off, the catcher, Cam Erickson. Batting second, the center fielder, Jaden Roberts. Batting third, the third baseman, Wyatt Wilharm. The cleanup hitter for the Blue Hawks is the right fielder, John Michael Gonzalez. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Luis Rodriguez. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Moses Dokes. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Ty Farwell. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Logan Broughton. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Caden Finders. On the mound today for game number 2 for the Blue Hawks will be Cooper Van Lucien. Here now the starting lineup for the home team. For the Bellevue Bruins, now 20-11 on the season, 5-0 in conference play. Leading it off, third baseman Scott Hansen. The second hole hitter, DH Steven Elsner. Batting third, the catcher Logan Grant. The cleanup hitter, center fielder Jake Lacey. Batting fifth, left fielder Elijah Tanner. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Anthony Lind. Batting seventh, first baseman Aiden Macaris. Batting eighth, the shortstop, C.J. Townsend. And batting ninth, second baseman Nick Gravel. On the mound for the Bruins in game number 2, big right-hander Jace Wessels. Nick, you got some information on Jace Wessels for us.
I do. Jace Wessels did play last on April 1st, but the last game he started was March 27th as Bellevue took on Valley City State, and that was a 10-0 win for the Bruins.
Well, Jace goes out to the mound. He gets his warm-up tosses. Looks like he's about ready to go, and so are we with game number 2 of today's contest. Jace, a 6'2 senior out of Clarkston, Washington, gets the nod here as the Bruins trying to go for today's doubleheader sweep. The first man that Jace will face is the catcher, Cam Erickson. Both these teams pretty much the same lineups that we saw in game number 1. The only change, obviously, on the pitcher's mound. First pitch from Jace Wessels to Cam Erickson, a fastball for a called strike 1. Tip of the cap once again to the starting pitchers in game number 1. Parker McMahon picking up the win. Jacob Scully, a hard luck loss for the Blue Hawks. 0-2 the count as Erickson fouls that one back to the net.
Has to go up and grab the ball. It kind of got stuck a little bit off the left of home plate on the infield.
This is Jace's 10th appearance on the season, his third start. Most of his work obviously has been in relief, a 1-win, no-loss record. Does have 2 saves on the year. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Looked like a changeup that time. Erickson swung out ahead of it. The strikeout is the first out of the inning. Next up for the Blue Hawks, center fielder Jaden Roberts.
No, that always feels good. The first out of the game being a strike. First out of the first batter you face, it's a strike. Words.
Wessels will work exclusively from the stretch. First pitch to Roberts, misses, ball 1. Some more info on Jace to this point. 22 in the third innings, 22 hits, 8 earned runs, has struck out 25 and has walked only 5. The breaking ball swung at and missed. So numbers pretty similar to the numbers that we saw from game 1 starter Parker McMahon in terms of the strikeout to walk ratio.
Jace is a pretty solid pitcher overall.
Another breaking ball, another swing and a miss.
And he really slots in well with the rest of the Bruins with what they're working with.
1-2 the count on the batter, Jaden Roberts. Bounce to the plate, 2-2 off the chest protector of catcher Logan Grant. Roberts had a couple of hits, 2 of the 5 hits for Dickinson in game number 1, and 1 of the 2 runs batted in as well. Foul back to the screen. Count remains at 2-2.
From Prima, Arizona, one of the many players from Dickinson State, from Arizona. They like to dip into the Southwest a little bit, too, for some of their players. You got Canada, you got Puerto Rico, you got Arizona.
Wessels comes set. Sky-high fly ball on the infield. Scott Hansen fighting the sun, fighting the wind. And shortstop C.J. Townsend runs into the third base umpire, Braxton Arndt. C.J. was trying to angle to the ball to get there, but instead had his path disrupted. Hansen couldn't corral it. As I said, fighting the sun. Left field is the sun field at this point of the day for John Stella Field at Brown Park, so it falls harmlessly in foul territory.
You can tell he kept correcting, searching, like you said, fighting the sun.
Breaking ball swung on. All right, they're going to say a foul ball or caught. They're going to say foul ball. Must have bounced. Logan Grant thought he had the catch. It must have hit the ground, though, because no complaints from the Bruin dugout coaching staff. So we'll do the 2-2 once again. Fastball bounced up, full count on center fielder Jaden Roberts. The Bruins have done a good job of recruiting the Pacific Northwest. That's always been a good area for Bellevue. That one's lined hard to left field. Elijah Tanner with a great diving catch to spear that one and take a hit away from Roberts.
Not only was it a diving catch, he slid after he hit the ground, too, just ensuring that that ball wasn't going to go anywhere. That was a very, very good play.
A great jump by Tanner to get to the ball, to be even anywhere near the ball, to throw the dive. That follows up on his Game 1 great defensive play where he one hop threw out a runner at home plate. So Elijah Tanner, the fielding star of the day for the Bellevue Bruins. Here's the third baseman, Wyatt Wilharm. Up in the air to center field. Jake Lacey has it tracked, and it's in his glove. And a 1-2-3 top of the first inning for pitcher Jace Wessels and the Bellevue Bruins against the Dickinson State Blue Hawks. After a half, the Blue Hawks nothing, and the home team Bruins coming to bat. You're joining us on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Mick Krupski here. Nick Grimm, my counterpart over there. Thanks for joining us. Thanks again to all the people who joined us in game number 1, especially those who sent along their text message greetings. If you thought about it in game 1 and didn't do it, and you want to get on board here for game number 2, same number, 402-515-7654. All right, a battle of right-handers once again in game number 2. This time, Jace Wessels for the Bruins, and for the Blue Hawks, number 6, Cooper Van Lucian. Got some info on Cooper Van Lucian.
Yeah, Cooper also made his last start March 27th at Mayville State. He played the second game. Dickinson State did end up losing that game 7-6. And in that game, he had allowed 3 runs and 6 hits over 2 innings pitched. So he wasn't out there very long. 6 innings pitched, my bad. I had to keep moving my screen up and down.
On the season, Van Lucian, a 2-win and 4-loss record, a 9.11 earned run average. This is his 10th appearance on the season, his 8th game started. He's thrown 26 2/3 innings on the year, 41 hits, 27 earned runs, 25 strikeouts to 9 walks. So a good strikeout to walk ratio for Van Lucian as he tries to shut down the Bellevue Bruin lineup. Leading it off once again for the Bruins, third baseman Scott Hansen. Cooper Van Lucian, first pitch, breaking ball, strike 1 called. Home plate umpire in game number 2 will be Brandon Dislagi.
Lucian standing at 6'5".
1-1 now the count. That fastball missing low and away.
206 pounds. But I think it's mostly muscle, Mick.
Here's the next pitch. Chopper to short. That's bobbled out there on the middle hop. E6 on the first play of the game. Only one error in the entirety of game number one. That proved to be a very critical error, leading to the Bruins' winning run. So E6, Hansen reaches as Steven Elsner, the Bruins' designated hitter once again in this game, steps in.
You say critical error, I say catastrophic error. That error was the reason that Bellevue won.
Looked like a knuckleball that time coming in from Van Lucian.
Yeah, it did.
And I apologize, I was calling him Von Lucian, but now I read my handwriting. It's Van Lucian, V-A-N.
I thought you were just being fancy with how you're pronouncing the A.
Throw over to first base. Van Lucian asks, the way the ball comes out of his hand looks a little different. I don't know if that's on just some of his pitches or all of his pitches. If you've got a big enough screen where you're watching this on, watch when the ball's released from his hands. Kind of a push motion. Oh, that comes back and hits Dislagi on the back of the head off the carom off the net. Looks like he's going to be okay. That happened to my wife one time at a game at Rosenblatt Stadium. I coached at Gross High School. We were in the state tournament. We were in the third base dugout. Somebody hit a foul ball and it banged off one of the I-beams supporting the post. Throw to first base, back in time. And I was in the dugout and I heard the ball hit the post and then carom back and hear this thwack sound.
Oh,
I thought, oh man, that hurt somebody badly. And found out after the game it was my wife at carom back, and she was watching the game, wasn't watching where the ball was banging off the post, and it got her right in the back of the neck. She had a sore, swollen neck for about a week afterwards. So,
you know, Mick, I would argue that
one's hit well by Elsner. That's going to hit into left center field. Cut off there by Roberts. On his way to third is Hansen. And into second base goes Steven Elsner with a ringing double. And the Bruins have, as they did in game number one, their first two batters on base.
So I would argue that there's few things more terrifying in the world than knowing a ball got popped up somewhere and not being able to see where it's going to land.
So keep your eye on the ball.
That's what they say. That's why they say it.
For Steven Elsner, that's double number 11 on the year as Logan Grant steps in. Elsner started the year his first three at-bats way back on February 1st in the Bruins opening game. Fastball outside corner, strike one called. Against Hastings College here at John Stella Field, Steven Elsner started the year with back-to-back-to-back doubles. Grant, opposite field, that's going to tail. Foul ball, and it stayed inside. It stayed just inside the left field foul pole, and Logan Grant, the three-run opposite field home run. Logan Grant has just tied the Bellevue University career home run record with his 44th home run in his three-year career, tying him with former Bellevue Bruin Riley Bosch. Wow. So the Bruins jump out to a 3-0 start. I thought no way that was going to stay fair, but it just hugged inside that left field foul pole.
That's what I would describe as a sneaky homer.
Jake Lacey, the next Bruin batter, tries to hold up on his swing, but cannot. 0-1 now the count on Jake.
So even from my angle, Mick, it looked a little, it did look foul too.
A knuckleball off the delivery from Van Lucian. For Logan Grant, that is home run number 13 on the season. Runs batted in. He will be tied now with Steven Elsner with 38 runs batted in.
Oh, Van Lucian loves that knuckleball.
That's why it looks funny coming out of his hands. It had the speed of a fastball and a breaking ball, but those last couple of pitches were definitely knucklers. Lacey fouls that one off. Count remains at 0-2 on the Bruin center fielder. Jake with two sacrifice flies in game number one today accounted for the second and third runs of the Bellevue three-run total. The other run scoring on a pass ball. Van Lucian looking in, gets the signal from Erickson. Jake Lacey turns on that one. That's going to be of a similar distance down the left field line, and that one gets over the fence. Back-to-back home runs For the Bruins, 3 and 4 hole hitters.
It was in the same area, too.
Logan's had a little bit more distance. Jake got over the fence, so don't ask how. Ask how far, just ask how many as Jake Lacey steps across home plate with home run number 6 on the year. And that takes him to 28 runs batted in.
And Bellevue has now tied their total runs scored from last game. No.
More. All right, the first 4 up. All cross home plate as left fielder Elijah Tanner steps in. That pitch looked like a knuckler once again in the zone. Trying to keep the Bruins off stride, but it's not been very effective thus far. An error, a double, and 2 home runs. That one's chopped on the ground. Shortstop Rodriguez there. And across the diamond gets the job done on that one. 6-3 on the plate for the first out of the inning.
Now batting the right fielder.
Right fielder Anthony Lynn next up for the Bruins.
I hope that Van Lucien has a little bit more in the tank because he's been throwing that knuckleball. And it could be good in situations, but I think they're getting too used to it now.
Again, the called strike. Yeah, knuckleball actually is less wear and tear on your arm than a curveball or a fastball, just because you have a little softer release, less wear and tear on the shoulder and the elbow. Lynn just misses, hitting one down the left field line. Foul ball called. About a foot foul over the third base bag. Anthony will retrace his steps.
A part of me wonders if the knuckleball is a strategy to keep him out there for a long period of time. Probably not 7 innings, but like last game.
Van Lucien again, the wind, the pitch. Lynn did the same way, gloved over there by the third baseman. Wyatt Wilharm makes the play, and a ground ball to short, now a ground ball to third, and 2 outs in the inning. Here's Bellevue first baseman Aiden Macaris. Erickson, the catcher, setting up outer half. Ball 1 low.
Macaris's walk-up song is Click Click Boom by Saliva. Are you a big Saliva guy, Mick?
Can't say that I am. Swinging a foul tip into the catcher's glove, 1-1. I'm more of a classic rock guy, so
one of the few.
That's because I'm old.
One of the few hitters for Bellevue who doesn't have a country song as their walk-up music. I've been keeping track.
Way wide on that offering, 2-1, advantage to Macaris. And hi to his family up in Canada, one of 7 Canadian ball players on the Bellevue University roster. There's a curveball. That one catches the zone. Temperature at game time, 54 degrees, a bright sunshiny day. It's gone up about 5 degrees since we started game number 1 of today's doubleheader, which began at noon Central Time. Wind not too much of a factor. We'll see an occasional gust. Way wide on that. Macaris will draw the walk on the full count offering. And now the 8th batter of the inning steps in for the Bellevue Bruins, shortstop C.J. Townsend. Okay, this is not a country song, but
a little bit of reggae.
Little reggae, so, yeah.
We got some rock, got some reggae. Good playlist mix here.
That one's flared into right field. Right fielder coming on, but he won't be able to get there. So C.J. Townsend with an opposite field single. C.J. was only up 1 time in game number 1. He got a sacrifice bunt down, then was pinch hit for his 2nd time up, and the Bruins only came to bat in 6 innings as they won that one by a score of 3-2 in the 7-inning contest. Here's Nick Gravel. Gravel made a couple of nice defensive plays in today's first game. 0 for 2 at the plate. Opposite field, long way to go. Up, and now it's going to travel a little bit more with the wind behind it as the left fielder looks it in. That's Moses Dukes. He'll make the catch and the side is retired. All 9 Bellevue batters came to the plate in inning number 1. 4 runs on the board on 3 hits. There was 1 big error and 2 men left on base. After 1 complete, the Bellevue Bruins 4 and the Dickinson State Blue Hawks nothing.
Now, Dukes did a really good job of tracking that ball because, as you mentioned earlier, the sun is right there, and you could tell he was having a really hard time tracking that ball, but he was able to make the catch, but it looked like he barely caught it right in the net of the glove. I mean, catch is a catch, but that could have gone wrong quick.
This is your first broadcast at John Stella Field in Brown Park. Left field is the Sun Field right now. As this game will progress, it'll go to center field, and then finally, before the end of the day, the sun will be a bother for the right side of the infield.
Everybody gets some.
That's right. Jace Wessels back to the mound. Had a long time on the bench as his teammates put up a 4 spot in the bottom of this inning. He'll gladly take that time as he sees that 4-run cushion up there. The Townsends, baby. Let's go, CJ. Let's go, Bruins. It's still raining in Oregon. We're jealous of the weather you guys have, and hopefully senior weekend will be sunny. We'll see you there for that. Senior weekend, that's still a couple of weeks away. The Bruins will play 4 of the 5 conference series at home this year. Here's John Michael Gonzalez to lead things off for Dickinson State in the top of the 2nd inning. Ball 1 on the first offering from Wessels. A little flare off the handle of the bat. It's going to find a spot as the Bruins middle infielders couldn't quite get there. John Michael Gonzalez with the hit. Not one he'll remember forever, but it's a base hit none the same. First hit of the afternoon. Second hit of the afternoon. Gonzalez was 1 for 2 in game number 1.
Lacey and Townsend both went for that ball, and I think Lacey tried to dive for it. Townsend went for it. One of them ended up having to jump into the air to avoid.
That one's turned on into left field. Elijah Tanner going back, and he'll make the catch on the warning track to take a hit away from Luis Rodriguez. Again, Elijah Tanner flashing some leather. His 2nd nice play of this game, 3rd nice play of the afternoon. His teammates showing some love by flashing some fingers and showing their gloves at him out in left field.
Last game it was Lacey making all the catches in the outfield. Now it's Tanner's turn.
Here's left fielder Moses Dukes.
Anyway, just to wrap up my story from earlier, they had to jump over each other just to avoid running into each other.
Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Good downward movement and a cross horizontal movement on that curveball. It's the big breaking curveball as opposed to the sharper breaking slider. Another one tossed down to first base. The runner Gonzalez back in time. Logan Grant very good at that deceptive quick throw down to first base. Dokes awaits the pitch. That one misses outside. A good location ahead in the count, trying to get Dokes to chase after that one. Dokes took an 0 for 3 in game number 1, and he starts off this one, the swing and the miss. 2nd strikeout for Jace Wessels, and now 1 on and 2 out in the top of the 2nd inning for Dickinson State.
Well, I wanted to give a quick major league scoreboard update, but I don't know if you want me to do that right now, Mick.
The Yankees must be losing, huh?
4-1 Pirates, bottom of the 7th.
Here's Ty Farwell, the first baseman. 1-0 the count. Now way wide. Wonder if Paul Skeens is pitching today for Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
4 runs on 4 hits, 1 error in that first inning for the Bruins. A curveball swung on and missed. 2-1 the count on the Blue Hawk first baseman. These two teams being conference foes the last now 9 years. There's a fastball right down the heart of the plate. Have met many times. Bellevue leads the all-time series, ready or not. Bellevue 22 wins. Dickinson State none. Another breaking ball. Farwell swings over the top of that. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. No runs on one hit. There were no errors and one man left on base after 1.5. Bellevue 4 and Dickinson State nothing. Last season, the Bruins defeated Dickinson State by scores of 9-6, 15-3, 8-1, and 12-2. Two of those games obviously concluded by the 10-run rule. So Dickinson State off to a better start this year at 3-1 record coming in, but dropping today's first contest 3-2. Senior Day is next weekend, April the 12th. Oh my goodness, it snuck up on me.
Oh, wow.
I guess they move it up rather than, I know a couple years ago, senior weekend was like the last weekend of the season, and there was all kinds of terrible weather. They almost had to rain everything out, so I guess that's a smart move to move it up. April 12th for senior weekend. Thanks, Bill. Go Bruins from the Sheaver family, listening in Kingwood, Texas. Looking forward to coming to Nebraska Thursday for senior weekend. So, okay, we've got double confirmation about that. We've got heart emojis and baseball emojis as well. Austin's been in the program for, I think it's 4 years now. Has seen limited action over his time here, but a great contributor for the Bruins on and off the field. Back to the top of the order as all 9 Bellevue batters went to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Here's Scott Hansen once again. He reached on an error and scored ahead of the 3-run home run by Logan Grant. First pitch, fastball up a little high. Cooper Van Lucian back to the mound for Dickinson State. Again, if you'd like to join us via the text message, breaking ball gets the call. 1-1. 402-515-7654. Thanks to everybody who's texted in all afternoon long. Breaking ball hit opposite way. That's going to get out of play. Decent crowd on hand this afternoon. Still a little cool. I mean, it's not 70, 80 degrees like we had last weekend, but we'll take what we've got today for spring baseball in the Midwest. 2-2 the count on the Bruins leadoff hitter. There's that knuckleball again. It stays upstairs.
Quick scoreboard update, Major League update for my team, the Rockies. I'm the one. Tied with the A's.
And Hansen takes that on the back.
In the bottom of the second, Chase Dolander is getting his first Major League start today for the Rockies. Played for Tennessee.
My sister lives in the Denver area, so we go out there every couple of years to see the mountains and catch a Rockies game.
I do love Coors Field.
Yep, beautiful place to watch a game. Next up for the Bruins, the DH, Steven Elsner. Elsner with a double, his first time up in this one. Pitch down low, ball 1. Missing outside, now 2-0.
Couple more quick. The White Sox are currently beating the Tigers 3-1 going into the bottom of the 8th. And the Royals, for the local people, 4-0 over the Orioles in the bottom of the 6th.
That one's lined into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit as Steven Elsner, with solid swings in his first 2 at-bats in this one, puts runners at first and second. And again, an opportunity for Logan Grant. Grant has tied Elsner with 38 runs batted in on the year with that 3-run dinger last time up. Let's see if he can take the lead all by himself. 351 batting average coming into today's contest. His bunt in game number 1 helped secure the victory for the Bellevue Bruins. Van Lucian delivers. Logan's going to go high, but not deep this time. Ball going into towards foul territory. Right fielder giving chase, and a couple of strides in foul territory. The catch made out there by John Michael Gonzalez. On the tag, Hansen will advance to third. Steven Elsner will remain put at first. So that had the height, but not quite the distance as Grant flies out for the first out of the inning. Nice play by right fielder John Michael Gonzalez to stay with that one. The wind blowing occasionally, so you got to be prepared for anything. A long way to go to get there as well.
Those sudden gusts that like to crop up here at John Stella Field too can make it really just a little harder to track that.
Here's Jake Lacey. Lacey, a solo home run his last time up, takes a called strike 1. Bruins at the corners with 1 away. Elsner the runner at first, Hansen the runner at third. Jake Lacey, who has 3 runs batted in on the day, 2 in game 1, 1 so far in game number 2. A chance for him to add to his totals. Van Lucian will step off. First disengagement. Runner at first, dives back. Elsner trying to bounce around a little bit over there to be a distraction on the bases. Assistant coach Richie Moore over there to give him a couple of words of advice.
Lacey getting down in his batting stance. He does kind of a half crouch too.
A closer play this time. Elsner getting back, and his first move has been kind of a lean towards second. So Elsner a big guy, but he is a base stealing threat. Elsner does have 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts. Breaking ball misses. The bad thing about this time of a sunny day is the scoreboard in right center field becomes very hard to see, so trying to keep track of the counts. Advantage to Lacey. Van Lucian again over to first base. Hansen doing what a runner at third should do in this situation. On the throw, he'll try to kick a couple of jump steps toward home to see if the ball gets away. That one's fouled back to the net on a curveball from Van Lucian.
It was just tipped off the very front of the bat, and then it just flew backwards after it made that contact.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Again, the throw over to first base sends Elsner back. That one's chopped to third base. They're going to try for the double play. To second for 1. The first, the throw gets by. And so the run will score. Scott Hansen comes in on the play. Score that a fielder's choice for Jake Lacey. And guess what? He gets another run batted in. Elsner retired 5-4 at second base. No throwing error because you can't assume an out at first. So Jake Lacey has been up 5 times today, and 4 of the 5 times he has accounted for 1 run batted in.
Not a bad streak.
Here's Elijah Tanner. Elijah grounded out his first time up. Little number off the bat will wind up in front of the Bellevue dugout. Lacey, the runner at first base. Jake has some bags to his credit. He has 6 steals on the year, so he too a threat to run. Hit in the air, question whether it'll stay in play. Farwell, the first baseman, over in front of the Bellevue dugout, uses his 6'5" frame to reach up and grab it for the final out of the inning. Bruins pick up 1 run on only 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. 2 complete in this scheduled 9-inning game. Bruins 5 and the Blue Hawks nothing. The 10-run rule would come into effect after 7 innings should we get there. Time now for our coach's salute for the home team, Bellevue Bruins. Dwayne Monlex now in his 15th year as the head coach of the Bruin program after spending 9 years at Dickinson State prior to that. If the Bruins win today, it'll be Dwayne Monlex's 600th win at Bellevue University in his 15 years. Currently 599 wins against 224 losses. Associate head coach is Mitch Schmidt. Pitching coach is Sean Malley. Assistant coach Richie Moore, and the new guy, assistant coach in his first year, is Drew Nielsen. Across the diamond, Michael Dahl in his second year at the helm of the Dickinson State program. His assistant coaches are Daniel Rivera, Sagan Osborne, and Jackson Horner. Thanks to all the guys running the programs at all the schools in the North Star Athletic Association for all their efforts. Not the easiest job in the world with the wintertime weather that they often have to contend with. Top of the 3rd inning. Here's the DH, Logan Broughton. Chase Wessel's first pitch, fastball stays upstairs.
Broughton's walk-up song, Devil Went Down to Georgia.
There we go. That one I know. That's hit in the air to right center field. Jake Lacey, a long way to go on that one. Still going, and off the top of the fence, right fielder Anthony Lynn there backing up the play. He's the one who'll get it and throw it in. But Logan Broughton starts off the inning with the double, just a couple of feet shy of getting over the yellow stripe, barking the fence for a home run. Again, you could see Jake was battling the sun on that one as it's kind of shifting around a little bit. He knew that that fence was getting close. It's a chain link fence with a little plastic protection in front of it. It's no protection at all, really. It's just to provide some color.
Lacey really did do everything he could do in that situation.
Here's second baseman Caden Finders.
Can't win them all. That's what I say.
First pitch fastball, strike 1 call. Finders had a couple of walks to get on base in game number 1. Couple of walks and a strikeout, scored 1 of the 2 runs. Off the end of the bat, another one out in the shallow center field. Here comes Jake Lacey again. He tries to pretend he was going to make the catch to hold the runner at second. He'll field it on the hop. Broughton able to discern the play and advance to third, so back-to-back hits, one a boomer, one a flare. And the Blue Hawks have something going in the top of the 3rd inning. Runners at the corners, nobody out, top of the order coming to bat. Catcher Cam Erickson.
Now, statistically, by the numbers, on paper, it's rare for Dickinson State to be hitting the ball that far out. They have a tendency to play small ball the last few games that they've played.
Here's the first pitch to Erickson. He hits it in the air to the left side. C.J. Townsend, Elijah Tanner, both of them going for it. It's C.J. who calls off his outfielder and makes the play about 30 feet or so into the outfield green of this polyester field. Another tough play, that high fly ball dealing with the sun and the breeze, but C.J. makes it, and that's a good situation as there's no advance by the base runners. Now the Bruins can get out of the inning with the double play ball. Center fielder Jaden Roberts trying to avoid that. He lined out hard to left field on a great play by Elijah Tanner. That one's going over the top of our heads and out of play. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Grant did a nice job of keeping it in front, so no advance by the base runners. Roberts 246, excuse me, coming into today's game, but his average will go up a little bit with a couple of game 1 hits. Swing and a miss on that sweeping breaking ball. Just what the Bruins needed there. The strikeout is the second out of the inning. Roberts will have a few words with his on-deck batter, Wyatt Wilharm, as to what pitches Jace Wessels threw to him, so that Wilharm will have a little mini scouting report. Wilhelm flued. Creating new words. That pitch is going to get out of play. Flew out to center field his first time up in this one. 1 for 3 in game number 1. Wilhelm at .378 on the year, one of the top hitters in the Blue Hawk order. John Michael Gonzalez, .388. He's the tops amongst the regular players. That one fouled off the body of catcher Logan Grant. He's going to take a minute or so to catch his breath. Looks like he's going to be okay. The little dings and knocks that a catcher has to suffer through during the course of a season. He's a young man. He'll recover quickly.
He'll bounce back.
0-2 the count. Fastball, center field. Jake Lacey on the move once again. He'll be able to get there, and on the run, flags it down. So the first two men get on, but they don't advance any further as the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. Opportunity for Dickinson State, but they don't take advantage. 2.5 in the books. Bruins lead it 5-0.
Lacey, seems like both Lacey and Lind are going to be, Lacey and Tanner are both going to be putting in some work today. That just seems to be where the outfield balls are heading. You can see on either end of the outfield, both Lind and Tanner are mid-left and mid-right field. They're not fully on the corners.
Nick, now at second base, number 1.
Thank you. Substitution for the Dickinson State Blue Hawks. My mouth is starting to leave me here this afternoon. Now at second base, number 1, Cade Vatsendahl.
Defensive change for the Blue Hawks. Now playing second base, number 1, Cade Vatsendahl.
So Vatsendahl will go into second base, replacing Caden Finders. Don't know if there was any injury involved or just a straight change making the situation there for the Blue Hawks. Here's Anthony Lynn, the Bruin right fielder, to lead things off in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Anthony Lind.
The wind-up in the pitch from Cooper Van Lucian. Strike call on the slider. Cheering on the Bruins from Wyoming. Let's keep those Bruin bats going. Thanks for the play-by-play. Appreciate it. As always, when we can't be there, well, you're very welcome. So Wyoming, I'm assuming that's Jake Lacey's family. He's out of Gillette. Down low and in. 1-2 the count on Anthony Lynn, leading things off for the Bruins in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bruins with 4 runs in the first, 1 more in the second. That one's hit well to left center field. Dokes going back to the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch, steals a home run away from Anthony Lind. A great effort by Moses Dokes to get to the fence and jump and pull that one back in to help the Blue Hawks cause.
That was one heck of a robbery, too. He went back into that chain link fence, and like you said earlier, it's got that plastic wrap kind of around it. The fence almost trampolined him back out and threw him back out into the field.
Here's Bruin first baseman Aiden Makaris. Shades of Kanta Kobayashi there, huh? Kanta was the former Bellevue player center fielder. He robbed 3 home runs. I think it was like in 2 consecutive games. Out in center field, going over the yellow stripe to pull him back in. That was a couple of years ago. Makaris awaits the next pitch. That one's hit to the right field side, tailing towards the line. 3 players giving chase. It'll be John Michael Gonzalez. It'll clank off his glove in foul territory. E9 on the play, as Gonzalez just couldn't quite secure it. So the at-bat stays alive for Aiden Makaris.
No, that at-bat from Lind, when he hit that ball, he made great contact there was nothing he could have done differently. That ball was just plucked out of the air at the most inopportune way.
So again, tip of the cap. Both left fielders today doing a great job out there. Elijah Tanner for the Bruins, and now Moses Dokes pulls one back for the Blue Hawks. Swing and a miss by Aiden on that breaking ball. That one bounced to the plate. A good pick by Erickson. That one, a 55-footer. Runs the count full on Aiden Macaris. Payoff pitch upcoming. Erickson sets up outer half. That's where the pitch goes. Fouled. Out of play, right side. We'll do it again.
Nobody's tossing anything, but it looks like there's a few players for Dickinson just kind of limbering up a little bit in the bullpen right now.
Both starting pitchers in game one went complete distance, so both pens on both sides should be pretty available. That pitch bounced to the plate, so Aiden Macaris will draw the walk, his second walk of this game.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7.
Shortstop C.J. Townsend singled his first time up. He'll step in for another crack at it. Eugene, Oregon, his hometown. Don't know if that's Bob Marley on his theme song or not. That one's hit well to left field. Dokes going back once again, and an over-the-shoulder catch. A couple of strides from the warning track. So it's the Moses Dokes show out there in left field. Robbing the Bruins. First, he took one away from Lynn. This one from Townsend didn't have home run distance, but it was a nice play going back. So Nick Gravel trying to keep the inning alive for the Bruins with 1 on and 2 out. First pitch swinging, fouled off his foot. That's not going to feel good for a while.
Is that his foot or his shin? Either way, oof.
He wears that protective guard on his front foot there, but that one came right down. Not sure which foot. That had to be that front foot. So he's got a protective guard there, but it hit the toe part, which is unprotected.
It's like when you're wearing steel-toe boots, but then something happens right before the steel starts. I grew up on a farm.
That one's lined in right field for the base hit for Nick Gravel. Keeps the inning going. Advancing Macaris to second base on the play. That's the 5th hit of the afternoon for the Bruin Bats. And we're back to the top of the order. Third time up in the third inning for the Bruins leadoff hitter. Reached on an error, reached on a hit by pitch, has scored both times.
It's just over the head of Vantendel. He couldn't quite get the height to pluck that ball out of the air.
No, Cooper Van Lucian back to the set position. Hansen fouls that back off the net. Pitch running in on his hands, couldn't do a whole lot with it. As that Karam halfway back to the mound. Van Lucian will toss it to Cam Erickson, who will give it back to Brandon Dislagi, and we'll continue with today's ball game. Bounced up. Nice job by Erickson taking it off his protective equipment. Did a nice job blocking it rather than trying to catch it, keeping him in front to limit any advance.
Van Lucian, 5 wild pitches on the season, so that teamwork from that catcher is critical.
That one's hit and threw it to the right side. Here comes Macaris around third base. He's going to try to score. The throw relay to the plate is not in time. So an RBI for Scott Hansen as Aiden Macaris scores from second. Around to third base goes Nick Gravel. And the Bruins extend their lead now to 6-0, scoring a run in each of the first 3 innings. Nice job of going opposite way by Scott Hansen. Took that pitch low and away. and drove it past second baseman Cade Vatsendahl. Steven Elsner stepping in for his third time. He's got a double, he's got a single, and waiting to see what happens his third trip.
That sky blue bat.
Breaking ball down low. As Nick mentioned, Steven the leader in most of the statistical categories, leader or now tied with Logan Grant for most of the statistical leads, including home runs and runs batted in. Breaking ball again, low and away. Southpaw throwing in the Dickinson State bullpen. Cooper Van Lushen trying to get out of the trouble in this third inning. Elsner tried to check his swing but couldn't. Now 2-1. Still advantage to Elsner. So he'll look for a pitch he can drive. Bruins with 3 extra base hits. Had a good cut at that one, but foul tipped it into the catcher's glove. Michael Wischowski throwing in the Blue Hawk bullpen. Thanks, Nick. Down low. So that'll be a full count. So on the pitch, the runner at first base, Scott Hansen, will be on the move. So smartly, first baseman Ty Farwell playing behind him rather than holding him on. Payoff pitch upcoming to Steven Elsner. There goes Hansen. Chopped to third. Grabbed over there. The only play will be at first base for third baseman Wyatt Wilharm. And he flings it across the diamond for the final out of the inning. 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 2 men left on base. After 3 complete, the Bellevue Bruins 6 and the Dickinson Blue Hawks nothing.
That was the first time I got to use my binoculars all day, man.
Hey, there you go. It pays to bring them along. You have much younger eyes than I have, but it's always nice to have those binocs as well.
I have glasses too, though. That might cancel it out.
I have contacts, so it's the same thing.
I've been checking over periodically at that bullpen. They must have been, about a minute from when I last checked to when you got up and saw the warm-up. They move quick.
Once those innings start to, add on the pitches, that's when the pitching coaches start to say, okay, we better get somebody up here. So, hello once again to Russell Buckmaster with us for game number 2 up in Anchorage, Alaska. Grandson Balas, a former Blue Hawk, now a Bruin. Don't get a chance to say that very often, that guys who played for one team, then a different team in the same conference. As we're back to the action, Jace Wessels has done a nice job throwing the shutout through 3 innings. He'll be looking at the middle part of the order for the Blue Hawks. John Michael Gonzalez, the right fielder, will lead it off. He singled his first time up today. Left-handed hitting right fielder. First pitch fastball, strike 1 called. Thigh-high fastball, outer half, that's good location. Breaking ball, up the chute on the infield. Aiden Macras will take charge, call in for it, and make the catch inside the baseline for the first out of the inning. We've seen a ton of fly balls today.
We have.
Some games, the pitchers are, contact pitchers who primarily keep the ball down to the zone. See a lot of ground balls, but a lot of balls up in the air today, including a couple that have left the park and a couple more that have come close. Ball 1 on the first pitch to shortstop Luis Rodriguez. Now 2-0. Elijah Tanner robbed him of a base hit his first time up today. That one's hit on the ground. C.J. Townsend fields it at turf level. Nice smooth throw to first base. 6-3 on the play.
Now batting the left fielder.
No, I have all these fun things I want to share regarding Rodriguez and his hometown of Coamo, Puerto Rico, but I feel like whenever I get ready to get it pulled up, it's too late. I need to be quicker on the draw.
We'll get him next time. Here's left fielder Moses Dokes. He's earned the defensive player of today's action for Dickinson State with his work in left. First pitch, tries to check his swing, but can't on the slider from Jace Wessels.
And all of his plays have been anything but routine, too. He's made a lot of athletic plays today out in left.
Off the end of the bat, that's going to have a lot of English on it. Nick Gravel plays it well, however. And on the 1-2-3 inning, the side is retired. 6 consecutive batters retired by Jace Wessels. As we head to the bottom of the fourth, the Bruins on top by a score of 6-0. Hopefully you got a chance to see that second hop there off that last hit from Dokes. You could really see the spin on that English hit and then go the opposite direction, but Gravel played it well, got a nice long hop on the play.
Gravel did a really good job. He got down low in an athletic position, ready to, wherever the ball was going to go, just ready to go for it, and it paid off. Great athleticism from Gravel.
Cooper Van Lucien back to the mound for Dickinson State. Help will be available should he need it, but again, you like to get your starting pitcher to give you as many innings as you can when you have a 4-game series. Grant, Lacey, and Tanner for the Bruins in the bottom of the fourth inning. Bellevue with 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 more in the third. 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors. No runs on 3 hits, 2 errors for Dickinson State. And again, forgot to mention in game number 1 when it began, but part of our opening to game number 2, the Bruins lead this all-time series 21, now 22 wins to none for Dickinson State. 16 of those 22 contests have been in the Omaha, Bellevue area. Dickinson, North Dakota, not always conducive to playing a lot of March and April baseball. Grant called strike 1 on the first pitch from Van Lucien. There have been a couple of years where the Bruins have hosted every single series in conference play due to weather conditions further north. That's the advantage of being in the southernmost schools. Logan Grant drives that one into right center field for the base hit. A big turn around first. He'll head back there. So Logan with his second hit of the game, following up on that 3-run home run his first time up. Jalen Ruffin will step in as the courtesy runner. Logan will sometimes run for himself, but giving him an opportunity since he's catching both ends of the doubleheader and probably catching all 4 games of this set, an opportunity to get some bench time while Ruffin does the courtesy running duties. Here's Jake Lacey. Throw over to first base, Ruffin on the dive. Jake, a solo home run and a fielder's choice. Both of those accounting for runs batted in.
Jake Lacey's had himself a really good day defensively, too.
Covering a lot of territory in center. First pitch down low. This is the 32nd game of the season for the Bellevue Bruins. Runner goes, throw to second base, one hopped. Not in time. Jalen Ruffin with the stolen base. Jalen's got a bunch on the season. That is stolen base number 5.
That was a really good run and steal by Ruffin.
Lacey now with a runner in scoring position. With nobody else, his job try to advance the base runner, if not drive him home. Foul back to the net.
That net wasn't there. It would have hit our window right here.
Yeah. We're pretty well protected with netting here and angles of foul balls, so Lacey awaits the Gillette, Wyoming native. Lays off that pitch in the dirt. So a 3-1 hitters count. The look down to Dwayne Modlux in the third base coaching box. Ruffin getting his lead at second base. Cade Vatnsdal trying to keep him close. Jake had a cut at that one. Fouled it straight back. So a full count situation here. Nobody out, one runner at second base. That's Jalen Ruffin. Jake Lacey at the plate. Fouls that one back once again.
Lacey's doing a good job keeping this at-bat alive, really just piling up the pitches for Van Lucci.
Jake, another one of those guys that's good on the field and also good in the classroom. The Bruins have earned several honors for their academic work. Two-time for Jake. He was named a scholar athlete in the North Star Athletic Association.
He's majoring in cybersecurity too, so that's nothing. It's nothing small.
That's been a strong program for the Bellevue University's campus for several years now. Breaking ball hit opposite way. That's going to advance the base runner and maybe score him. Ruffin did not get a real good jump on that. Not sure if it was going to be caught or not, but Jake Lacey did what he needed to do. Got the base hit, advanced the base runner. So Ruffin at third, Lacey at first. And the Bruin offensive attack continues on. Now 9 hits on the game for the Bruins. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Here's Elijah Tanner. Bruins with not a lot of left-handed hitters in the starting lineup, so the left-handed reliever, not looking for a lefty-lefty matchup anytime soon. Tanner takes the first pitch down low. In fact, Logan Grant, the only left-handed batter in the Bruins starting 9. And Nick Gravel, excuse me. Thank you, Bill. Hit and run executed to perfection. Spanked into right field by Tanner. He'll pick up the base hit. And the Bruins another run. As Ruffin scores the 7th run of the game, Lacey able to get all the way to third on the hit and run. And Elijah Tanner executing to perfection, hitting behind the runner on the move.
That was a beautiful hit and run. It looked exactly like, I don't know, like clockwork. It gelled really nicely. It was a great series of events. So smooth.
Here's right fielder Anthony Lynn. Lynn looking for his first base hit of this game. Breaking ball up and away. Runners to the corners once again. Lacey at third, Tanner at first.
Words fail me with how well that was executed.
Perfectly executed. That's how you draw them up. Strike call there on the pitch from Cooper Van Lucien to Anthony Lind. Anthony, another one of those scholar athletes for the Bellevue Bruins. Bruins try the hit and run once again. That one's fouled off the screen, however. So Tanner will have to go back to first.
Business administration is his major, Anthony Lynn's.
So I'm talking to, I believe it was his parents in between games. Guys come out of the dugout, get a little refresher, a little recharge. Couple of hugs, and then back to work for game number 2. That one's hit well to left field. Dokes out there will not be able to catch this one as it one hops the fence. Coming in to score is Jake Lacey. On to third goes Elijah Tanner, and Anthony Lynn picks up his first hit of this game with an RBI double to left field. Bruins continuing to swing the bat in this one. Now 11 hits for the Bruin batters. As Anthony Lynn picks up the run batted in, that is now 20 runs batted in on the year for Anthony. And a meeting at the mound. Michael Dow, the head coach, going out to talk to his starting pitcher, Cooper Van Lucian.
And it looks like,
yeah, we will have the pitching change here. As coming in out of the bullpen,
number 18, Michael Wachowski.
very good, thank you.
Lefty from Fairplay, Colorado. He's a senior, but this is, until now, he's only been in 2 games. He's got an ERA of 4.5. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He's only pitched 2 innings, Mick.
All right, so limited action on the season, a chance to try to stymie the Bruins' attack in this one, give his team a chance, but the horse may already be out of the barn in this one, as the Bruins with 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, thus far 2 in the fourth, with still 2 more in scoring position, and still nobody out.
Something that I'm finding interesting is Bellevue, the Bruins keep hitting it out to left field, and it's brave, honestly, considering the kind of plays we've seen Moses Dokes make. But it continues to work out for them because they're hitting it just right to where it's either just ahead of Dokes or, like example last time, just going to hit the fence.
As we mentioned, the majority of the Bellevue lineup, right-handed hitters, so if you're getting good contact, you're ahead of the pitch, that's where it's going to go. And the Bruins have done well. A pitcher's duel in game number 1. The Bruin bats have exploded in game number 2. Saw head coach Dwayne Monlex talking to his wife Roxy in between games too, so maybe she told him what the Bruins need to do in game number 2 to get more runs on the board. So we'll go with that, huh?
Yeah, I bet that's exactly what happened.
Good
That's how it
job.
went down.
Good job, Roxy.
Just tossing the warm-up pitches here.
Wind picking up a little bit more as the day has gone on, out of the southwest direction, blowing out towards right center field. Sun field right now is pretty much straight away out in center field. You can see the shadows of the players pointing right from the batter's box over the pitcher's mound out towards center field. And within a couple of hours, it'll move over to the right side. Here's Aiden Macaris trying to keep things going as the first 4 reached and scored in inning number 1. The first 4 have reached in inning number 4 as well. Infield playing up at the corners. First pitch from Wachowski is fouled out of play by Macaris.
Wachowski from Fairplay, Colorado, famous for gold hydraulic mining and one of Colorado's most prolific hay and cattle areas.
Okay. Didn't Fairplay, didn't they make scoreboards back in the day? Wasn't that the name of a scoreboard company? Up and away on that pitch?
The controller that I'm using right now is Fairplay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tom Bullard running the scoreboard down there says that's the controller he's using. I'm not as dumb as I look. I know some stuff. Here's the pitch. 1-1 pitch on the knees, called strike 2. Macaris has been up twice, has walked both times. Behind in the count here, 1-2 in his third plate appearance. Number 22 awaits the pitch from number 18. Up and away, 2-2, matching Aiden's jersey number.
Did you know Fairplay scoreboards have been around for 90 years, Mick?
All right, now I do. I knew I'd seen them along the way. I'm almost as old as them. Macaris awaits the pitch.
Well,
That was hit in the air to center field. Roberts looking for it, looking up into the sun. Looks like now he has it tracked. Lost it originally, but that's way deep enough to score a run. As Elijah Tanner crosses the plate, Anthony Lynn also tags and goes to third. Aiden Macaris will pick up the run batted in on the fly ball to center fielder Jaden Roberts. Looked like Roberts lost that for a while, then found it again, able to make the play for the out, but the Bruins another run.
And not only was that ball hit really high, it was hit really hard too. If there would have been just a little more oomph on that, that would have cleared it might have hit that Prius right there.
Just the top part of the bat. Here's shortstop C.J. Townsend. Townsend 1 for 2. Anthony Lynn, the Bruin runner at third. Bruins trying to match the 4 spot they put up in inning number 1, already 3 across on the inning. And again, Dickinson State playing their infield back rather than up to try to cut down the run. Just 1 out in the inning. There's a called strike.
Looked kind of close and aimed to be a strike to me personally.
Now that left-handed fastball is going to tail a little bit away from the right-handed batter. Caught the inside corner there. Wyshowski again to the set. Way wide on that, no doubt about that. Wyshowski has pretty good mechanics and pretty good size at 6'2". Working from the third base side of the rubber, he'll come set with his hands elevated near his head. Fouled. Count remains 2-2 to C.J. Townsend.
Foul ball just kind of pinballed between the fence and the poles. Ended up over at the warm-up area for the batters. The circle.
Townsend coming into today's game hitting .245. Popped up on the infield. Who's going to take charge? It looks like the second baseman. Nice job of staying with it there by Cade Vattensdahl for the second out of the inning. No advance from third on that play. So it'll be up to second baseman Nick Gravel on another RBI opportunity. Gravel 1 for 2. The big exhale before he steps into the batter's box. Halifax, Nova Scotia native takes a fastball down the heart of the plate for a called strike 1. Called strike 2.
Wyshowski, the way he threw that ball, it curved around the outside before coming back in and resting inside the strike zone. It was tricky to spot.
The set, the pitch, way wide as Erickson set up again off the outside part of the plate, trying to get his pitcher to make sure it doesn't come over the plate, try to get the hitter to chase with that 0-2 advantage. Chopper, that's going to be a tough play. It'll be an infield single for Nick Gravel as he'll pick up a run batted in on the play as well with Anthony Lynn scoring the 10th run of the game for the Bellevue Bruins. Now 10 runs on 13 hits for the home team. As back to the top of the order, here comes Scott Hansen for his 4th plate appearance in 4 innings. You know you're putting runs on the board when that happens. Hansen crowding the inside part of the batter's box. That's going to be lined into right field for a base hit. Throw comes in behind second base. Nick Gravel has to dive back to the bag. So the hit parade continues now. 14 hits for the Bruins as Steven Elsner becomes the 9th batter of the inning for the Bellevue Bruins. Bruins hit around in inning number 1. They're hitting around as well in inning number 4. Elsner 2 for 3, a single and a double.
With the ocean-colored bat.
On the outside black, strike 1 called. I'd try to live all day out there if I were the pitcher. Let's see if Wyshowski thinks the same thing.
No.
Comes inside this time, but misses 1-1. Steven, an all-conference player at the College of Marin, where he started his college career out in the San Francisco area. Now 2-1.
It goes from February or March to October.
Steven had a good pitch to hit. Down the right field side, it's going to be out of play. First baseman Ty Farwell able to get over near the ball, but not able to make a play. 2-2 to Elsner. Fielders are back to their positions. We're ready to get back to the action as Michael Wischowski toes the rubber. Bellevue runners at first and second, 2 outs, and a step off on the play. Down low, so it'll be runners on the move on this 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. A little extra head start for Nick Gravel at second. Scott Hansen at first. Steven Elsner awaits the pitch. Runners go. Foul out of play. They'll head back to where they came from.
Elsner shakes his head a little bit, trying to lock back in. Doing a very good job keeping the at-bat alive. Just again wearing down the pitcher, raising that pitch count.
And the changeup doesn't get into the zone, so the walk will load the bases. Elsner to first, Hansen to second, Gravel to third, as the Bruins send 10 or more. Logan Grant started this inning out with a base hit. He's back up again.
Now batting the catcher, number 10, Logan Grant.
Logan 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. And that first inning home run. Fouled that one down the right field side. Third baseman giving chase. He won't be able to make a play. Wyatt Wilharm went to the fence to take a look. Lefty-lefty matchup. Wischowski looks in. Lined hard, but foul up the right field line. Karem's back onto the field to play, so right fielder John Michael Gonzalez will have to retrieve that one. Tosses it back in. 0-2 on Logan.
Wischowski spins the ball in his hand before the pitch.
Way wide, 1-2. Logan, one of several Bellevue baseball players who played summer ball last year in the Western Canada Baseball League, WCBL. Wischowski again comes to the setup by his head. Pitch misses upstairs, 2-2. You can see Logan rear those hands back, getting ready to his launch position. Logan has had several multi-home run games during his Bellevue University career. Looking for another opportunity to do that here. Won't get the hit, grounds instead to the second baseman. Covered over there by Cade Vattensdahl, and the side is retired. The Bruins send 4 to the plate in the 4th inning. 4 runs on 6 hits. There were no errors, and 3 men left on base. So the Bruins score a bunch, leave a bunch. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, it's the Bruins 10 and the Blue Hawks nothing. Again, another long wait between going back to the mound for starter Cade Vessels. He'll get credit for the victory if the Bruins hold on to this one. If he completes this 5th inning, he'll be looking at the 7, 8, 9 part of the Blue Hawk lineup here in the top of the 5th innings. 10-run rule takes effect after 7 innings, should that difference remain.
I believe Grant played for the Okotoks Dogs.
Yep.
In the WCBL.
Okotoks Dog. There are
Okotoks.
6 Bellevue players, part of that squad last year.
That's a DAWG Dogs.
Yeah, Okotoks in the Calgary area of Alberta. Yeah, well, somewhere I got a sheet buried in there. Well, we'll get back to that later as we get back to the action. First baseman Ty Farwell to lead things off. Farwell, a strikeout victim his first time up today against Jace Wessels. Swing and a miss, looked like a changeup. Jace has struck out 4 thus far through the first 4 innings. That pitch up and away. Off the end of the bat, fouled. And Scott Hansen with just enough room to make the play. Nice job by Scott to stay with that one, as the wind may have helped just a little bit, keeping that within his reach. Next up, designated hitter Logan Broughton. Broughton with a double his first time up in this one. His double followed by Caden Finder's single gave the Dickinson State Blue Hawks a scoring opportunity in the 3rd inning, but then the next 3 made outs, and so still scoreless are the Blue Hawks. 0-1 the count. 0-2 the count. Nice sweeping breaking ball by Jace. Wessels, again, the senior out of Clarkston, Washington. Chopped on the ground. CJ charges, gets the long hop. The flick of the wrist across the diamond. 6-3 on the play. 2 outs in the inning.
Now batting the second baseman, number 1, Cade Vattensdahl.
And the 9-hole hitter, second baseman, Cade Vattensdahl. His first at-bat of the afternoon. He came on as a defensive replacement for Caden Finders 2 innings ago.
This is also his 8th plate appearance of the season. He's got 1 hit and 1 strike so far, batting 143.
Thank you, Nick. Breaking ball from Wessels. He gets ahead once again. Very important to get ahead in the count, to use your whole arsenal of pitches. Swing and a miss once again there. Jace has done a great job of that today.
Standing at 5'7", I believe he is the shortest player on this Dickinson State roster.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Jace does not have a complete game this year. That one's hit in the air to center field. Jake Lacey has it squared away, only has to move a couple of steps, and he'll grab it to retire the side. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Jace Wessels and the Bellevue Bruins. In fact, that is 9 consecutive batters set down in order by the Bruins defense in today's game. 4.5 innings in the book. The Bruins 10 and the Dickinson Blue Hawks nothing.
Dickinson State 0.
More changes.
And it looks like Michael Dow will make some other changes as he goes to talk to the home plate umpire Brandon Dislagi. They'll try to get those to you as soon as they're relayed on to us. Well, we got a new first baseman for sure.
26 is behind the plate.
New catcher, number 26. We'll assume he's going into Cam Erickson's spot. Number 26 is Ethan Bess. And a new first baseman is number 3, Tyson Threadgill.
Changes for Blue Hawks. Now playing first base, number 3, Tyson Threadgill. And now catching number 26, Ethan Bess.
We'll assume it's a straight change unless we figure otherwise when they come in the batting order. So 2 defensive changes for Michael Dahl's Blue Hawks. And the Bruins will have the 4, 5, 6 part of their order up. Michael Wachowski stays in. Blue Hawks hoping Wachowski has several more innings in him, so they don't have to go too deep into their bullpen.
Number 21, Jake Lacey.
Jake Lacey strides to the home plate area. A home run, a fielder's choice, and a single for Jake.
Not a bad day's work.
Yeah. First pitch down low. 4 runs batted in on the doubleheader for Lacey. We'll be back at it tomorrow as well for another doubleheader. Popped up shallow center field. And lost in the sun, Jake Lacey's going to have the advantage of a sun-aided base hit. Center fielder Jaden Roberts came on, was near it, but couldn't see it in the corona of the sun. So sometimes those base hits just happen to fall for you. Jake gets the advantage of that one. His 3rd hit of the game, 3 for 4. As Elijah Tanner steps in. Elijah 1 for 3.
Wachowski, as he sets up to pitch, likes to just kind of twirl the ball around in his hand.
Looks like we'll have a visit from one of the assistant coaches this time.
We got a couple guys in the bullpen warming up.
And he filed this under the better late than never. A pair of sunglasses now being run out to center fielder Jaden Roberts. It would have been nice to have those when the inning started. He might have had a better opportunity to corral that fly ball. And it's just, one of the things about baseball there, the way, any way you situate a baseball field, this has an orientation to the northeast, which is the preferred way you want to lay out a baseball field. But when the sun is out on a mostly cloudless sky, that happens. You lose it in the sun. It's a horrible feeling. I've known for many years of playing ball. You're standing out there helpless, trying to use the bill of your cap, your sunglasses if you have them, your edge of your glove, trying to shield it out, but it's just sometimes it's right there.
I don't think people talk enough about the sunglass advancements that have happened over the last 20 years or so.
First pitch to Elijah Tanner on the outside corner, call strike 1. When I was a little kid, the fashionable thing to do was to have the old flip-up glasses.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And what you would do, that you'd have them up during most of the time, but then when you needed them, you just tip the bill of your cap and they'd flap down on your face. Well, I never really found that very comfortable to use as strike 2 comes in.
So a lot of the SEC college players, their whole teams get Oakleys that have special tints and stuff that'll just block out the sun, or
almost like welder's glasses, some of those. Yeah. Here's the 0-2 pitch, trying to hit that outside corner again. This one strays just a little further off. 1-2 the count on the Bruins left fielder.
There are a couple guys warming up in the Dickinson State bullpen right now, so they'll have options if they need them. Should they so choose?
Lacey, short lead at first. He will more than likely not be trying to steal with a 10-run lead. Count goes to 2-2 as Michael Wachowski trying to work that outside edge of the plate. Got it a couple of times, and a couple of times he didn't. Umpire and crew doing a great job for us today. That one's hit opposite way, but it's going to hook or tail into foul territory. Count remains at 2-2. I was an umpire for about 15 years back in the day, and umpires out there, they try to be fair, they try to do a good job, try to do a great job, and most of the time they do. Very, very rarely will we criticize the umpires. That one's hit down the right field line, and it is going to drop Fair ball just inside the line. Here comes Lacey over to third base. And by about a foot, Elijah Tanner goes opposite way and doubles into the corner. John Michael Gonzalez having to track that one down, but by the time he got it in, the Bruins, again with 2 runners in scoring position, still nobody out. The Bruins have done a great job in this game in getting their leadoff guys on. 4 of the 5 innings, the Bruins have had their leadoff guy on. 4 of the 5 innings, they've got their first couple of guys on in the inning to put the pressure on the Blue Hawk defense.
And where that ball landed out in right field there, it was kind of in an awkward spot because the way it bounced, it kind of forced it over to the corner. And then if you didn't know exactly where it was going to be, then it was going to be hard to grab.
Anthony Lynn, the next Bruin batter, heading the count 1-0. On the knees, 1-1. Anthony with a double and a run batted in his last time up. Eight of the 9 Bruin batters with at least 1 hit in today's second game of the doubleheader. Lynn fouls that one out of play. The only one without a hit yet, Aiden Macaris, and he's been on base twice with walks and has a sacrifice fly run batted in. He's the on-deck hitter for the Bruins.
To show that there's many ways to contribute even if you don't make it on base.
Wyshowski again comes to that high set. Lind holds off on that pitch off the outside edge. Elsner has a couple of hits. Logan Grant has a couple of hits. Jake Lacey has 3 hits. Elijah Tanner has a couple of hits. A couple of hits for Nick Gravel as well. Everybody else I didn't mention with 1. Lind stays alive, foiling a good pitch off the outside edge.
Chowski back at the mound, setting himself, twirling the ball behind his back like he is one to do.
Missing inside. And we're back to a full count. No payoff pitch for Anthony Lynn. First base is open.
How do you know that the rest of the school feels about all of the money that's going towards athletics?
2 on, nobody out in the inning. We're in the bottom of the 5th. And it'll be a walk. Yes, Anthony Lynn will trot down to first base. And that will bring Aiden Macaris to the dish.
And we're loaded.
Dickinson State playing their corner infielders in a bit. Middle infielders at double play depth. Guess it's not essential if you're down by 10 to cut off the run at home plate. They're hoping for a double play ball somewhere on the ground. Macaris trying to lift something. Pitch down low. We've enjoyed a pretty decent afternoon weather-wise. Tomorrow's supposed to be a couple of degrees colder and a little bit windier. Aiden Macaris drives it into center field. That's over the head of the center fielder, Jaden Roberts. 1 run is in easily. 2 runs are now in. Yeah, so Aiden Macaris joins the hit parade with a 2 RBI double. And the Bruins jump their lead to 12-0 as Jake Lacey and Elijah Tanner score on the play. So Lynn now at third, Macaris at second. As the Bruins up their hit total to 16 on the game. Still nobody out in the inning as shortstop C.J. Townsend steps in. Outside, ball 1. Same defensive alignment for the Blue Hawks as we mentioned earlier. Corner infielders in a bit. Middle infielders back at their regular distance, not even exactly at double play depth. On the outside edge, strike called. Swing and a miss by CJ. Awaiting the next offering from Michael Wachowski. Here it comes. That one again way wide. 2-2 on the Bruins shortstop. Started his college career at Treasure Valley Community College. Bruins have had a couple of guys come through Treasure Valley. Way wide once again. Count goes full. We've said that a lot in this game number 2. Open base at first. Wachowski looks in, gets the signal from his catcher. CJ hits it on the ground. Second base will only have one play. That's at first, but CJ able to leg it out. By the time that Cade Vatnsdal got to the ball, CJ Townsend was chugging down the line. He'll get credit for a run batted in and the base hit as Anthony Lynn scores the 13th run of the game. Aiden Macros advancing to third.
That was a very, very, very close play. That was half of a second from just being an out.
Pinch hitter coming in for the Bellevue Bruins. He pinch hit in game number 1 as well. Balas Buckmaster will hit in the number 9 hole here. Balas, as we mentioned, spent 1 year at Dickinson State University back in 2023. Has 1 year of eligibility remaining now as a Bellevue Bruin. Swung on the first pitch in game number 1. Takes one here for a called strike 1. Trying to impress his former teammates, and we've got a balk called here against Michael Wachowski as he started then stopped his motion. So on the balk, Aiden Macros will come in to score, and CJ Townsend will advance to second. So an unfortunate way to give up a run, but can't start your motion then stop again. Balas has played at the University of Antelope Valley, at Dickinson State, and at Pierce College in Washington. Now a Bellevue Bruin. That's going to be a base hit into right center field. Balas went out and got that outside pitch. Around third on his way home comes C.J. Townsend. And Balas Buckmaster gets the RBI single. And the Bruins continue to add on runs. Nice piece of hitting there, reaching out over the outside pitch to drive it that way. 15-0 now our score. And back to the top of the order. And first, a visit from Michael Down. That will most likely be the end of the day for Southpaw Michael Wachowski. Bruins have put up 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth. We've got 5 on the board here in the fifth to account for 15 runs on 18 hits. It's been one of those games for the Bruin batters.
It has been one of those games, and unfortunately it's also been one of those games for the pitching at Dickinson State. Wachowski hasn't pitched that many innings, but he hasn't played like this in any of those games.
Yep. A strong pitching performance in game number 1 from Jacob Scully, a hard luck loser in the 3-2 score, but everything that's been over the plate has been turned around by the Bellevue batters in this second game against Cooper Van Lucien and Michael Wachowski. The new pitcher for the Blue Hawks is number 33, Dylan Hayden. He'll be the third pitcher of the afternoon, Dylan Hayden. Hayden, a freshman out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Men's basketball coach Lucas Gabriel joining the party in the press box this afternoon. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great. Just enjoying the Bruins.
There you go. enjoying the heat inside the press box. Or it's a pretty nice day out there, so yeah, it's not too bad outside. The press box is usually about 10 degrees colder. We're out of the wind, but it's made of cinder blocks, so we've got the heaters fired up behind our backs here.
Dylan has played 2 games and pitched a total of 3 innings so far this season.
We're in the bottom of the 5th inning again. You got to go 7 in a 10-run rule, so the Bruins, a little extra insurance. As back to the top of the order, for the 5th time today, Scott Henson has stepped in. Now, again, just showing the Bruins having a happy day in game 2 with the bats. Here's the first pitch from Hayden, and that's going to be hit in the left field for the base hit through the hole between short and third. 19 hits for the Bellevue Bruins. But last Buckmaster will advance to second on the play. And another pinch hitter for the Bruins, hitting in the number 2 hole spot for Steven Elsner. We've got number 25, Jordan Brandenburg, will step in. So first at bat of the afternoon for Jordan as he fills in that DH spot for Elsner.
This is Hayden's first time on the mound since March 11th at Arizona Christian.
Breaking ball a little bit too low.
Looks like he pitched 1 inning there. Got 2 strikeouts.
Jordan, a senior from San Carlos, California. Now 2-0. Still nobody out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bellevue batters in a row have gotten on base. 6 of the 7 with hits, 1 walk as well. Brandenburg awaits with a 2-0 count. Has a good healthy cut, but comes up empty. Trying to go for a lot of distance on that one. Now 2-1. Brandenburg hitting .261 on the year for the Bruins. Also a catcher on the Bellevue roster. Breaking ball down low, now 3-1. Jordan's had most of his playing time this year in that DH spot. Timeout called as catcher Ethan Best goes out to talk to his pitcher. They want to make sure they're on the same set of signals so that Buckmaster can't relay them in. Mound visit charged to Dickinson State. No, 3-1 to Brandenburg. Jordan with a little waggle of the bat, awaiting the pitch. Inside, and that'll be a walk. I'm sure Jordan wanted to swing the bat, but patiently waiting for a good pitch. He'll head down to first. Scott Hansen moves to second, and Balas Buckmaster on to third. Yeah, let's cue another pinch hitter for the Bellevue Bruins. This is Nolan Walther. Will hit for Logan Grant. Nolan Walther. Nolan, a junior out of Carriere, Mississippi. His first year as a Bellevue Bruin. On the knees, called strike 1. Nolan hitting .207 for the Bruins. This is now his 14th game. He's had 29 at-bats on the season. Chopped on the ground to short. And bobbled there and out in the left field. 2 runs will score on the air. Walter will get credit for 1 run batted in on the play.
There was just not a whole lot of hustle from Dickinson State after that bobble. They just kind of, the ball was in the field and nobody was really rushing to get to it, and that's what allowed that second run to score.
So Buckmaster scores the first one. Hansen scores the second one. Brandenburg on to third. And the Bruins once again have batted around. Third time today the Bruins have batted around.
My scorebook looks incredible right now.
And another hitter, pinch hitter for the Bruins. This time it's number 8, Jalen Ruffin, who came on earlier in that courtesy runner position. You are allowed to enter the lineup from that position, so he'll hit for Jake Lacey. Jalen Ruffin. Yeah, scoreboards, a lot of ink this afternoon. Breaking ball misses away. Jalen, a junior out of North Platte, Nebraska. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Jalen hitting 133. Pitch misses inside, turns away from that one.
That one looked like it was really close to hitting him. Been millimeters away.
Jalen's had 15 at-bats this season. That one goes opposite way. Base hit to the right side. Jalen Ruffin will get credit for the base hit. And another run batted in as the Bruins are just spanking everything that comes in on the strike zone. So Jordan Brandenburg scores the next run. Walter stops at second. And Jalen Ruffin, the runner, is at first. Here's Elijah Tanner hitting for himself in the 5 spot. So the pinch hitters have come through for the Bruins. That one's going to be a base hit to the right field by Elijah Tanner. The runner will hold at third. So Elijah picks up his 3rd hit of the game, a couple of singles and a double.
The bases are once again loaded, Mick.
And still looking for some outs. Or it's 9, 11, 12 batters reaching the plate. Now Anthony Lind. Strike one called on the pitch from Dylan Hayden. And again, the catcher and pitcher going to get together on signals. This will be the 2nd mound appearance for the Blue Hawks.
I can't think of a bigger contrast than Game 1 and Game 2.
Yeah,
today.
exactly. Pitchers duel between Parker McMahon and Jacob Scully. In that one, they dueled only a total of 10 hits, I think, combined in that game. The Bruins already beyond 20 in game number 2. It's just been a frustrating game for Dickinson. They just can't get anybody out in this 5th inning. Strike called there.
That's right. We're still in the 5th inning.
Hayden looks in, gets the signal from Bess. Too low. It's got to be frustrating for Dickinson, too. You played such a tight, emotional game number 1 only to lose it. And then turning around, the Bruins just jumped all over the starter in game number 2, a 4-spot in inning number 1. Hit to the right side. John Michael Rodriguez going back. He'll make the catch. Or John Michael Gonzalez, sorry about that. But it's deep enough for the sacrifice fly. Add another run to the Bruins total. First out of the inning. Elijah Tanner remains at first base. Jalen Ruffin on to third. And Nolan Walter comes across with the 19th run of the game for the Bellevue Bruins. Another pinch hitter for the Bellevue Bruins, this time number 27, Austin Sheaver. We heard from his folks a little earlier down in Texas. Austin will bat here for Aiden Macaris, a 4-year member of the squad. Austin will take a breaking ball for a strike one call. Six at-bats on the year for Austin. 1 for 6. Another breaking ball. This one misses away. 1-1. Nine runs in on the inning for the Bruins. One more on the scoreboard out there will run out of room. Two and one count to Austin Sheaver.
There's got to be an inning we've gotten 10 at some point. I don't remember. I know we have. I just don't remember.
On the knees, In a game like this, sometimes the strike zone's going to grow a little bit. Austin, I think he understands the situation too. So anything close, he should be swinging. Runners to the corners, one away. Austin fouls that one out of play. Had a good, healthy cut there. Up near W Street, near my old home.
In the event we do run out of room on the scoreboard, is one of us going to have to go out there with some...
Hold up some fingers. And yeah.
Maybe a marker board.
Hayden gets the signal. Sheaver, a little flare to the right side. 3 players chasing. And it'll be the right fielder, John Michael Gonzalez, able to get there. Not deep enough to score Ruffin on the play. So back-to-back plays by right fielder John Michael Gonzalez. And another pinch hitter for the Bruins. Number 2, Rafael Nakandakari will hit for C.J. Townsend. Rafael from Brasilia, Brazil. Oh, he'll get an opportunity here for C.J. C.J., a couple of hits in the game. Now Rafael, first pitch swinging, fouls it past head coach Dwayne Motlix.
Good job, Bill.
If the Bruins hold on to win this one, it'll be Coach Motlix's 600th victory at Bellevue University.
What a 600th win.
On the outside corner, strike 2.
If it holds.
Yeah, we're kind of hoping that it does. 19-0. Bruins on top.
You know,
and a breaking ball misses just a little bit low.
Eggs aren't cheap nowadays, Mick. I try not to count them before they hatch.
Yeah. Bruins have scored in double digits many times on the year. Just a quick glance, 19 ties their win on March 14th against Mid-America Nazarene, where they won 19-7. So one more, it'll be a new season high for the Bellevue Bruins. Bellevue all-time is 40 runs scored.
Really?
Yes, I did that broadcast either my first or second year, and the fastball called strike 3 as Nakandakari goes down to retire the side. 9 runs in the inning on a whole bunch of hits. I can't even count that high. No errors and a couple of runners left on base.
5, 6, 7.
After 5 complete innings of play.
There are 2 runners left on base. After 5 complete, the score is now Bellevue 19, Dickinson State.
19-0 our score. Yeah, see, 1, 2, 3.
I believe it's 11 hits.
I don't have quite that many. Let me try it one more time. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. There's 6. So I've got 8. 9 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base.
You know what? That makes more sense.
So the Bellevue Bruins send Jace Wessel back to the mound for inning number 6. Bruins hoping only an inning and a half left in this game to win it by the 10-run rule. And we will assume that most of those guys that came in to pinch hit will continue on into the field for the Bruins. Looking down.
Number 8, Jalen Ruffin. Remaining in the game, playing first, number 27, Austin Sheaver. Remaining in the game, going to shortstop, number 2, Rafael Nakandakari. And remaining in the game now playing second base, number 24, Buckmaster.
Yeah, so we're looking across the infield now. It's Scott Hansen remains in at third, but a whole different crew from there. Here we go at the top of the 6th inning. Top of the order is the catcher, Ethan Bess. His first at-bat of the game as he came on as a replacement for Cam Erickson. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. There's a breaking ball in the zone. Austin Sheaver is at first base. The last Buckmaster is at second. And the shortstop is Rafael Nakandakari. Bess spins out of the way of that high and tight fastball. Jalen Ruffin now in center field. That one's hit high down the left field side. Giving chase out there is Elijah Tanner, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Now batting the center fielder, number 37, Jaden Roberts.
Center fielder Jaden Roberts, the next man up. 0 for 2 so far in this game after having a solid game number 1 at the plate with a couple of hits. Wessels continues to work for the Bruins. Breaking ball low and away. His new battery mate is catcher Nolan Walther. Down low once again.
Not 30.
No, but 5 or 6 maybe? On the very high end?
Chop foul. The entire field still bathed in the bright sunlight of this Sunday afternoon.
Sure is.
Live line 27.
Just off the inside corner.
That was another ball that was really, looked like it could have been really close to hitting guy at bat.
Walter sets up outer half. Wessels delivers another sky-high fly ball. That one's going to be out of play, however, up on the hill to the west side of John Stella Field at Brown Park.
Another ball sacrificed to the trees.
It'll roll down, so especially this time of year before all the weeds take hold. Then it became a finder's keeper's paradise for us neighborhood kids. Swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball. Jace Wessels picks up another K as a second out of the inning.
Stop beating me, sir.
Now batting
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth strikeout of the game for Jace Wessels. Next up, third baseman Wyatt Wilharm. Hit well to center field. Ruffin going back to the warning track, and he won't have room. A solo home run by Wyatt Wilharm breaks up the shutout as he sends it over the fence in center field for the first run of this second game. So Wilharm will get his trot around the bases. A happy moment for the Blue Hawks in an otherwise pretty miserable game. For Wyatt Wilharm, that's his second home run of the year. Now 18 runs batted in. That'll bring up the 4-hole hitter, cleanup man, right fielder, John Michael Gonzalez. He hits the ball well to right field. That's cut off out there by Anthony Lynn on the one hop. That'll hold him to a single. Back-to-back base hits for the Blue Hawks in this top of the 6th inning. First 2 men were retired in order. Then the next 2 have reached, and now shortstop Luis Rodriguez steps in. A tough game with the glove for Rodriguez. He'll try to do something with the bat. A couple of errors in this game number 2. Little chopper, Scott Hansen on the second hop. Across the diamond to Austin Schriever, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 man left on base in the top of the 6th inning. As the Bruins head to the bottom of the 6th, they still have a pretty good lead, 19-1.
All right, well, I haven't got a chance to talk about it today. I'm just going to do it now.
There we go. Give us Puerto Rico.
Cuomo, Puerto Rico is where he's from. Notable MLB players, because it's a baseball town, to come from there include Jose Santiago, who was born in 1928 and played from 54 to 56, and Jonathan Bermudez from 2024 to 2000. Oh, he's new.
Yeah, I would say that's got to be the past year.
Yeah, born in 95. Look at that. Plays for the Rangers, or drafted by the Rangers in 2018.
Not exactly St. Pedro de Macorís from the Dominican that has a whole slew of players, but looks like we've got a new pitcher coming on for the Blue Hawks, number 32, Trapper Oster.
now on the pitch for the Blue Hawks, number 32, Trapper Oster.
Love that first name, Trapper Oster. I wonder if that's his real name or a nickname. Trapper Oster is a freshman from Stevensville, Montana.
He's started 1 game, and he's had 4 plate appearances so far this season.
Out. Third base,
Oster's thrown 6 1/3 innings on the year, an ERA of over 18. And a new right fielder as well. Why don't you use your binocs and see if you can get a number for the right fielder there, Nick?
Right field, left field, third base, shortstop.
21. That would be, I believe that is Sawyer Briner, junior from Petersburg, Alaska. Over there in right field.
All right. Leading it off for the Bruins, and gosh, where are we in the scorebook?
Yes.
Balas Buckmaster will lead things off. My scorebook is just a puddle of ink right now. So Balas Buckmaster singled his first time up today, got a run batted in as well, second time up for the native of Anchorage, Alaska. First pitch fastball on the outside corner for a called strike one on the offering from Trapper Oster. Up and away, 1-1. Line hard to left field. A 2-for-2 afternoon coming off the bench for Balas Buckmaster as he singles that one sharply to left field.
You know, I just started a new line in my scorebook, and I just scribbled out the one number, and I just put a 6 there instead.
It gets a little crazy trying to keep track of all this. We've got another pinch hitter for the Bruins. At the top of the order, hitting for Scott Hansen. This time it's number 12, Xavier Lerma. You know, Scott finishes with a couple of hits and an RBI. Lerma hits the ball down the right field side, giving chase, but can't come up with it. We saw Xavier behind the plate in a midweek game earlier this season. The freshman out of Muscatine, Iowa.
You ever been to Muscatine, Mick?
I have not.
It's a beautiful area.
Strike on the curveball. Back in every time I hear Muscatine, I think of a high school when we were going to go play up in Neola, Iowa, and one carload of guys. That was before people took buses to games. One carload of guys got lost, and they said they wound up in Muscatine, Iowa. And they were looking for a game to play against the Muscatine Monsters, and we knew they were all lying. It was kind of the goofier guys on the team. So every time I see Muscatine, I think back to 1972 and the Muscatine Monsters.
It's not far from Moline, Iowa.
Okay, so on the eastern side of the state.
Illinois. Yeah, it's right on the river. There's a nice restaurant there right next to the river. You could get seafood, go to the John Deere Museum. That was the John Deere family.
Cool. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. The first strikeout of the game for Trapper Oster, the second man he faces, as Lerma goes down looking.
Number 25, Jordan Brandenburg.
Here's designated hitter Jordan Brandenburg. Jordan walked his first time up, patiently waiting for a good pitch to hit, worked his way on board. First time he'll face off against Trapper Oster.
Another blue bat. It's more of a deep blue, though. It's like a darker type of blue.
Now that I don't have,
Missing away on that offering.
I'm having to go through and find them. I think you can put it in order. Yeah, this one is just no way.
Oster, the 6-foot freshman out of Montana, comes set just above the belt. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball from Oster. Brandenburg comes up empty.
He's not on the game right now. It's golden.
Another breaking ball. This time it gets a little too high. So hitter advantage, Jordan Brandenburg. Down low, so Brandenburg once again patiently waiting for a good pitch to hit. Will draw the walk as he trots down to first base.
Now batting the catcher, number 5, Nolan Walter.
Here's Nolan Walther, Bruin catcher. The Mississippi native steps in. Bruins have not had a ton of guys from the, that's lined hard for Walther down the left field line. Bruins playing station to station as Dwayne Monlex will hold the lead runner at third, not trying to run up the score any more than it is, but a couple of solid singles in this inning. That last one by Nolan Walther. Here's Jalen Ruffin, the center fielder. Jalen had an RBI single his first time up.
Number 8, Jalen Ruffin.
As the Bruins getting a lot of reserves in the game today. Bases loaded. Ruffin takes a breaking ball for a called strike one. One out in the inning. Bases full of Bruins. That pitch comes up too high. Most of the crowd still with us on this sunny Sunday afternoon. 2 more games tomorrow, beginning at 10:30 a.m. That one's fouled off the foot of Ruffin.
Wind now looks like it's completely dead. Not maybe a little breezy.
Blocked up by the catcher, Bess.
It's like center and right field are starting to get the brunt of the sun now. As the shadows start to creep up on left.
No, because we were in the number 3 overall seed.
Ulster looks in. Again, a block up by Bess, the catcher. Full count now on Jalen Ruffin.
I wonder how many full counts we've had today.
There have been a ton, especially in this game number 2. Both pitchers in game number 1 did a great job of working ahead in the count, but game number 2, it's been a different story. And Ruffin will draw the walk with the bases loaded. He'll get credit for a run batted in. His second run batted into the game. That'll move Walther to second. Brandenburg on to third.
Number 9, Elijah Tanner.
And Buckmaster scores on the play. Here's Elijah Tanner, one of the few guys that's been in the entire time. First pitch down low.
He's put in a lot of good work today, too, especially in the earlier innings of the game when it was a little closer.
3 for 5 at the plate. A couple of sterling defensive plays. On the outside corner, strike called.
He's a big contributor to why Dickinson State only has 1 run right now.
Missing down low. With that last run, that pushes the Bruins to the 20-run mark. That's now the most runs scored this season by the Bellevue baseball team, beating the 19 it scored earlier at Mid-American Nazarene. Well, Oster's continuing to miss down low in the zone. If you're going to miss, it's better to miss low, but the Bruins have also been very patient at the plate.
Team-wide, the Bruins have showed very decent plate discipline today. Not just this game, but overall.
Way wide once again, so back-to-back bases loaded walks. That'll be a run batted in for Elijah Tanner. He'll head down to first. Ruffin to second. Walter to third. And Brandenburg will score the 21st run of the game for the Bellevue Bruins. 21 runs on 23 hits for the Bruins. No errors on defense as Anthony Lynn, the other guy that's been in the entire game for the Bruins, will step in. On the outside corner, strike one called. Down low once again.
Next, softball won their first game of the series, 6-1 over Valley City.
Bellevue softball playing Valley City State University in a doubleheader. Not too far from here. Bruins win game number 1, 6-1 over the Vikings. 2-1 the count on Anthony Lind. Lind, an RBI double. Also a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. Comes up empty on that swing. Still just one out in the inning. Way wide, so the count will go full once again.
Full count.
Third consecutive batter that we've had a full count. Trapper Oster looks in, gets the signal. The windup and the pitch. Chop foul. Hey, guess what? We'll do that 3-2 again.
You know, if you were somebody playing a game and you took a sip of water every time we had a full count, you'd be a very well-hydrated person today.
Or for a sip of bourbon, you'd be pretty well drunk by now. So where's my mind? Okay, here we go. Again, the 3-2 pitch, and it's upstairs, and the third consecutive bases loaded walk. Anthony Lynn will pick up his third run batted in of the game. He'll head down to first. Elijah Tanner to second. Jalen Ruffin to third. And Nolan Walter will cross home plate with now the 22nd run of the game for the Bruins.
I'm more of a Scotch guy myself.
All right, Austin Sheaver back up for his second swing of the bat. Flew out to right field his first time up. The Kingwood, Texas native. On the outside corner, strike one. Poor Austin, the pitchers, what Austin has been up to bat, they've just painted the corner on him all afternoon. Let's see if he gets a good pitch to hit here to drive in something. Breaking ball.
He had to duck on that one. I don't know if he had to, but he did duck on that one.
Well, yeah, that one's coming at the back of your head. There's nowhere to go but down on that. 1-1 the count. Off the end of the bat to right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. An RBI single by Austin Sheaver off the end of the bat, but a good placement out there for him. Now 23-1 our score as the Bruins continue to get guys on base. Sheaver now at first, Lind at second, Tanner at third, and Jalen Ruffin scores on the play. So 4 more runs in on this inning. Back to the top of the order. Or excuse me, Rafael Nakandakari drives the first pitch into left field. So Nakandakari will add to the totals with a single and a run batted in. Tanner scores on the play. Lind to third, Sheaver to second, and Nakandakari on at first base. Michael Dow heads back out to the mound, and we may see another pitching change. We do. A tough inning of work for Trapper Oster. Gave up a single to start, then a strikeout. But then the next 7 guys in a row either hit or walk their way on base. 24-1 our score. As a new pitcher on for Dickinson State.
And again, that one run, because it feels like it was a while ago, was scored from Wyatt Wilharm on a home run to left center-ish. It did look like it was close to hitting somebody's car out there in the parking lot, if it didn't.
The new pitcher for the Blue Hawks is number 36, Rogelio Gonzalez.
Now in the pitch for Blue Hawks, number 36, Rogelio Gonzalez.
Good job, Bill. You were waiting on me, weren't you? Rogelio Gonzalez, the new pitcher for the Blue Hawks, the freshman out of Tucson, Arizona, comes on here to try to stop the Bruins from adding any more. Gonzalez has a 0-1 record on the season. This is his 10th appearance, 7.42 earned run average in 13 1/3 innings of work.
This will be his 48th batter that he's faced.
I did not tell him that either.
Once again, looking forward to tomorrow. The doubleheader starts at 10:30 a.m. We'll have both ends of that for you right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. And then the midweek game has been moved from Tuesday to Wednesday. That'll be against Midland University right here at John Stella Field at Brown Park. A 7 o'clock starting time on that one. So we go from breakfast with the Bruins tomorrow to dinner with the Bruins on Wednesday. All right, Rogelio Gonzalez finishes his warm-up tosses.
Now batting the second baseman, number 24, Balas Buckmaster.
Balas Buckmaster steps to the plate again. The Bruins hitting around in this inning. Balas started it off with a single and a run scored.
Balas took what I could only describe as a Happy Gilmore step right when he got up to the plate for his first practice swing.
Let's see if he hits a hole-in-one or not.
Nice.
Gonzalez looks in. First pitch down low to Balas Buckmaster. So Balas with a couple of hits against his old team today. On the outside corner, strike one called.
That was a very generous strike call.
And this should technically be a balk. He doesn't have his hands separated, but I think at this point,
We're just going.
yeah. When you toe the rubber, you got to have your hands separated. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1-2. See, he's got to be separated.
I think we're just landing the plane now.
Okay, here we go. Gonzalez looks in. Chopped on the ground to third. He gets past the third baseman, and the Bruins will score another run. Official scorer. E5 on the play. Right down the line. So Anthony Lynn comes to score on the play. Now at third base is Austin Sheaver. The second base runner is Rafael Nakandakari. And Balas Buckmaster is on at first, reaching on the air. So we got to scratch out another inning. Back to the top of the order. Here's Xavier Lerma. Swing and a miss from Lerma. Lerma trying to avoid making 2 outs in the same inning. Been there, done that. Fouled against the net up the first base side. 0-2 the count. Bases loaded, 1 out. 6 runs across in this inning. Lerma fouls another one straight back.
Oh, there's the wind again. It's back. Decided to chill out for a few minutes.
4 hits, 3 walks, 1 error in the inning. Lerma hits the ground, knocked down by the second baseman. Lerma hustling down the line. He's able to get there in time. Bill? So base hit? Okay, very good. I thought I heard E4. I don't know if that was you or Tom being.
No, he was being.
That'll be scored an infield single and a run batted in for Xavier Lerma. As Austin Sheaver comes across the plate. Now Nakandakari at third, Buckmaster at second, and Lerma at first. The batter is Jordan Brandenburg. Jordan patiently waited out 2 walks. Strike called on the outer half of the plate. Low and away, 1-1. 26 runs on the board. I don't have a sheet from last year. Bruins scored over 30, didn't they, last year at Waldorf in one game?
I'll look that up for you.
Come on, look it up, guy. Look it up.
That one's hit a ton to left field. A grand slam home run for Jordan Brandenburg. The bases are cleared. Jordan picks up 4 ribbies as that one is jolted over the left field fence by the Bruins DH. Tip of the caps from his teammates at home plate, and we've now hit the 30-run mark. 30-1 our score this afternoon, where the Bruin Bats just have been hammering away against the Blue Hawk pitching staff.
That is our first time scoring 30 since March 30th last year at Waldorf when we won 33-2.
The last time the Bruins have hit the 30 mark was last year against Waldorf when they won 33-2 against the Waldorf Warriors, former members of the North Star Athletic Association. So a little over a year away between hitting the 30-run mark. Strike called there against Walter.
Well, the 30 doesn't look great, but the 6th inning only took long.
That grand slam is just insult to injury at this point.
Strike called. It's just, you know, you're the coach in the dugout. What can I do? There's just Bruins have had the magic and the Blue Hawks have not.
I do appreciate that the Bruins are still going for it, you know.
Yeah, not laying down. Chopped on the ground to short. Throw to first base is in time. The one-hop throw picked out there. On the play for the Blue Hawks, it was shortstop Cade Vattensdahl to first baseman Tyson Threadgill to record the second out of the inning. Here's Jalen Ruffin. Ruffin with a single, a run batted in, then a bases loaded walk and a run batted in. Fouls it out of play up near W Street on the south side of the park. That one's going to be hard to find. That had some distance on it. Pitch up and over the top, 1-1.
I'm sure you could find it. You know all the places.
All the secret places.
Mick, I'm sad to inform you that the Yankees lost 5-4.
Oh, you can't win them all. Down low.
My Rockies, on the other hand, 12-4 right now, which blows my mind. I didn't know they knew how to hit the ball.
That's a week worth of runs for those guys.
No
Sorry.
kidding.
Up and away.
No, please don't apologize for them. Never apologize for them.
I like their purple jerseys, just like the Bellevue Bruins.
I do too, and I wore my purple hat today.
Good man. 30 runs on 27 hits for the Bruins. And that one inside, and Jalen will head down to first base.
It just grazed him, it looked like.
He's way up at the top.
And Elijah Tanner, he's got to be tired just walking up from the dugout to home plate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his 7th plate appearance. This is still the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 hits, a run batted in, 3-run score. That one's going to be another hit for Elijah. He goes oppo to right field. And again, the Bruins just playing station-to-station baseball. They'll advance 90 feet and stop.
He's at the top of the lineup.
And again, Anthony Lynn to the plate for the 7th time today.
I think that they should go out and get some ice cream after this.
Now batting the right fielder, number 17, Anthony Lynn.
Oh. Rogelio Gonzalez looks in for the signal. Lind awaits, 2 on, 2 out. Hit in the air to right field. Right fielder tracking, and making the catch on the run. That looked like it was, I'm trying to double check, make sure I get everything correct. It looked like it was number 21, Sawyer Brenner,
Yes.
making the catch.
Yes, it was.
To retire the side.
I mean, Sawyer hasn't been out there the whole game, obviously, but both men who are out there playing at right field have done a very good job playing right field. There haven't been a whole lot of balls hit that way at all, just between both games. But whenever a ball is hit that way, they've both been on it, and they've been on the ball, pardon the pun. That one wasn't on purpose, I promise.
So a ton more runs for the Bruins. 30-1. Yes, I said that correctly, just in case you're joining us. 30 for the Bruins and 1 for the Blue Hawks. A pitching change for the Bellevue Bruins.
Now catching number 12, Xavier Lerma. And moving to third base, number 5, Nolan Walter. On the pitch for Bellevue is number 3, Jaden Vincent.
Jaden Vincent comes on in relief of Jace Wessels. So, Jace, a great start.
Fantastic start.
Only allowed 5 hits through 6 innings. 1 run, that being the solo home run off the bat of Wyatt Wilharm. Everything else, the only other inning where Dickinson had an opportunity to get on board was the bottom of the third. They got their first 2 guys on, but nothing after that. So Jaden Vincent, the senior southpaw out of Portland, Oregon, will come on.
This will be his 6th game. He's pitched 7 1/3 innings. He's got 2 strikeouts.
The left fielder, number 14, Nathaniel Gillick.
All right, first man he will face is Nathaniel Gillick. Gillick, a senior from Dickinson, right there, the hometown. Swing and a miss. Nathaniel Gillick, first appearance of the afternoon. Popped up right side. Right fielder Anthony Lind, one of 2 guys from the original starting lineup, able to look that one in, shielding the sun with his glove. 1 up, 1 down. If the Bruins are able to hold on to this 29-run lead, this will be the final half inning of the game. Next batter is Tyson Threadgill. Okay, I'm a knucklehead. I'm sorry.
He couldn't even announce the player.
Swing and a miss.
Let these men do their job.
There
Nick.
we
What
go.
are you
Sorry.
doing?
It'll still be 10 runs short of the Bruins' all-time scoring record in a single game. Vincent wide on that one to Threadgill.
I think we should go the full 9 just to break that record.
Yeah.
Might as well. We're here.
Threadgill, a freshman from Show Low, Arizona. What a great name, Show Low, Arizona.
Just east of Phoenix,
Okay.
I'm told.
There's got to be a heck of a story behind that name, but maybe we'll save it for tomorrow. Here's the pitch to right field. Anthony Lynn charging. He won't be able to get there. He'll play it on a couple of hops. An opposite field swing by Tyson Threadgill keeps the game going. 1 on, 1 out. The next batter, the designated hitter, Logan Broughton. Broughton 1 for 2 today.
Oh. Right now it's 54 degrees in Show Low. It feels like here there.
That must be toward the mountainous areas because most of the time Arizona is going to be a lot warmer than here.
It is. It's right there.
Pop foul out of play. 0-1 the count on Broughton. A double back in the third inning. He led off that inning, but never got further than second base.
Well, I found the history behind the name if you want to hear it.
Sure. I'm inquiring minds want to know. Runner goes. It'll be a uncontested, no stolen base.
According to legend, it resulted from a marathon poker game between Corydon E. Cooley and Marion Clark. They were equal partners in a 100,000-acre ranch.
Next pitch, line hard, just inside the baseline. That'll get down into the corner. That'll score a run as coming around the corner comes Threadgill. And on to second, Logan Broughton, his second double of the game. He's really the only guy that hit the ball solidly for the Blue Hawks in this second game. Continue.
The partners, they decided that there ain't enough room in this town for the both of us.
Oh, one of those stories.
So they agreed to settle the issue over a game of 7-up. The winner took the ranch and the loser had to leave. The game had no winner in sight, so he said, if you can show low, you win. In response, Cooley turned up the deuce of clubs, which is the lowest possible card. That's a show low.
Okay. So now we know the history of the hometown of Tyson Threadgill.
Their motto is,
Vatnsdal sends that one foul out of play.
named by the turn of a card.
There we go, a little history lesson for you. Vincent looks in, gets the signal. Xavier Lerma behind the plate. Nice stretch out there by Xavier to flag that one down. So Lerma and Walter exchange spots on the field defensively. Strike called on the outer half. Foul back against the netting. Karam played by Lerman, back to Vincent. Vatnsdal came on as a defensive replacement back in the fourth inning for starter Caden Finders. One at bat, he flew out. And now has struck out for the second out of the inning. And the Blue Hawks down to their final out. And it'll be Ethan Best, the catcher, trying to keep the game going. Or will it mercifully come to an end? Up and away on the pitch.
30-2, also a really weird football score.
Yeah, possible, but not probable.
It's a scoregami. Probably.
Swing and a miss.
Surely there's not been any 30-2 football games. Let's see.
Two and one the count on the Blue Hawk catcher.
There indeed have never been any 30-2 football games.
The internet is such a wonderful thing.
I love scoregami.
Chopped on the ground, third base side. Charging, throwing. Nice play by the Bruins third baseman Nolan Walter, and a nice pick on the other end by Austin Schieber. And that will bring today's second game of the doubleheader to a final merciful end. The Bruins with a 30-2 victory over Dickinson State. 30 runs on 28 hits, no errors for the Bruins. 2 runs on 7 hits and 4 errors for Dickinson State. With the victory, the Bellevue Bruins now 21-11 overall, 6-0 in conference play. With the loss, Dickinson State drops to 11-20 overall, and now an even 3-3 in conference play. The coaches shake hands near the home plate areas. We get ready for another doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. We've seen both ends of what baseball can bring, either a pitching duel or a hitting onslaught in both games of today's doubleheader.
We really have, and I'm curious to see how Dickinson State recovers from this kind of game tomorrow, because the bullpen, based off of what I have, isn't looking like it's. Hopefully, they don't let that today get in their head, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, once that Bruins got that big lead, you probably aren't going to burn your top of the line relievers. We saw some of the guys that were trying to make a good impression, but the Bruin batters just lit up the Dickinson State pitching staff in this game number 2 after a very tightly contested 3-2 win in game number 1. Where did I go? 30-2, our final score. We'll be back in action tomorrow for the doubleheader, and then again on Wednesday evening for the midweek game against Midland University. For Bill and for Tom, for Nick and for me, thanks for joining us on this afternoon. The Bruins win the doubleheader and try to go for the series sweep tomorrow. Right back at you, 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Good night.